felt so alive in my life. 'Cause you make me come to life every time I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? That I'm crashing right into you. I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? Yeah, I'm free falling. Can you hear me calling, calling for you? Yeah, I'm free falling. I'ma keep on falling, falling for you. I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you?
皆さんこんばんは。リクエストのイカ納豆です。イカ納豆のゴリデイズへようこそ。この番組は VR e スポーツの国際リーグ VR マスターリーグに出場中のチームリクエストでゴールキーパーやっている私イカ納豆が、私なりのゴールキーパーのやり方の解説をしてみたりですとか、私自身もゴーリーとして成長していこうというそんな企画でございます。今回は第5回目になりますが、4回目からだいぶ期間が空いてしまいましてお久しぶりでございます。今回はタイトルにもあるように海外プレイヤーから学ぶということで YouTube にあった海外のゴーリーの解説をしている動画をですね、横山さんが横山選手、VRML だとピーナッツバターキャット、そして今やってる EVJL だとゆるキャップに所属している選手ですねが英語ペラペラでして、それに字幕をつけて海外の動画に字幕をつけてくれたものを今日は一緒に見て勉強していこうかなと、そんなふうに思っております。でですね、Twitter とかでも報告したんですけど、私自身は今膝を壊しておりまして、VR 自体をお休みしているというそんな状況でございます。VRML のシーズン4中に圧勝といいますか、結構痛めてしまいまして、そこからだましだましで遊んではいたんですけれども、長くエコーをねやっていきたいのであれば一回ちょっと休んでちゃんと直した方がいいかなと思いまして、それで今休息中でございます。実際エコーを休んでから1週間までは経ってないかもしれないですけど、結構痛みが引いてきたような感じはありますね。今までは椅子に座る瞬間とか膝を曲げるときとか膝を伸ばすときに痛かったんですよね。右膝だけなんですけど、それがだいぶ緩和されてきたような気はします。ただ何もしないっていうのも良くないらしくて、痛い時もストレッチとか適度な運動はした方がいいらしいので、私もちょっとストレッチとかしてみたりしております。こんな風になる前からちゃんと、私もともと体が硬い人なのでちゃんと柔軟をやっておけばよかったなと思ってちょっと後悔してます。皆さんはぜひ、ゲームとはいえVR スポーツなので、やる前の準備体操とかやった後のクールダウンとか、必要だと思いますね。というわけで、あとなんか話をしよう。そうです。今ウィケット開催中です。皆さん行きましたか？クエスト対応のワールドもあれば PC 限定のワールドもあるんですけど、 PC 限定のワールドの方に私が所属しているEchoArenaジャパンクリエイターズのブースが出展しておりまして、ぜひ見に行っていただければいいなと思います。 概要欄に後で EAJC の Twitter のリンクですね、貼っておきますので、詳細はそちらから見ていただければいいなと思います。あとは、そうですね、ちょっとお気づきの方もいらっしゃるかもしれないんですけど、今日私のアバターが小刻みに震えてるじゃないですか。前回の放送から今回の放送までの間に、実はパソコンを新しくしまして、ゲーミング PC を購入いたしまして、で新しくなったんですけど、で、本当に性能バリバリ良くて、主に、何ですか、仕事でもパソコンを使うのでいいやつを買ったっていうのもあるんですけど、本当にね、新しいパソコンサクサク動くので、だいぶストレスが減りました。で、それはいいんですけど、でノート PC なんですけど、カメラが変わったので、私の本体は止まってるんですけど、なぜかアバターが小刻みに震えるという印象が生じております。いろいろいじったんですけど、原因はわかんないので、ちょっとご辛抱くださればと思います。いや、そんな、なんか言うことあったかな。とりあえず動画見ていきましょうかね。私自身もこれを見るのは数ヶ月ぶりぐらいなので、ちょっと内容を覚えてなかったりするんですけど、一緒に見ながら振り返りながら勉強していきましょう。そして、最初に見た時にできてなかったけど、今、なんかできるようになったこととか、発見があるような気もするので楽しみです。じゃあ早速動画に移りましょう。再生します。
Hey guys, it's Venom. A little chat here coming up, so if you're wanting to skip ahead to the actual training, I posted the timestamps in the description below. For those willing to stick around, here we go. So we have a little bit of a video today, and by little bit, I mean the majority of a goalkeeper training session that SirDimwi was gracious enough to help me out with. Goalkeeping has been a position I feel like I've
そもそもこの動画、誰が作成した動画かっていうと、一番最初にご紹介があったと思うんですけど、VENOMっていう海外の選手がいまして、今はフロリダレーザーシャークスっていうプロのチームに所属しているめちゃうまプレイヤーですね。私、VENOM選手の YouTube のチャンネルがあって、そこに載っている動画をEchoArena選手が字幕をつけてくれたっていう感じですね。で、今はそのプロのチームにいるんですけど、ちょっと巻き戻すと。
So we have a little bit of a video today, and by little bit, I mean the majority of a goalkeeper training session that SirDimwi was gracious enough to help me out with.
なんて読むのかわかんない。SirDimwi。間違ってそうで、あれですけど、このVENOMとこのサーと呼ばせ、違うな、ディムって呼ばれてるのかな。この2人が同じチームだった時期があるんですよね。調べてみると。で、勝手にディムと呼びますけど、今ディムは現役プレイヤーとしてどっかのチームに所属して VRML とかは出てないと思うんですけど、実況をしてますよね。VRML の公式配信で。で、この2人が同じチームだった時期があって、その時に撮影した動画だと思いますね。で、チームがゴールキーパーだったんでしょうね。こんな経緯で。で、元になった字幕をついてるEchoArena選手のチャンネルの動画と、元になったVENOM選手の動画のリンクは概要欄に貼っておりますので、ぜひ後から見ていただければいいなと思います。このVENOM、動画いろいろ上がってるんですけど、解説動画もあれば、名シーンの詰め合わせみたいな動画もあって、本当にこの動画を見ると、なんでしょうね。見ていって楽しいプレーっていうのはこういうのなんだなっていうのを私自身感じることができた、そんな動画だったりするので、 ぜひ、他の動画を見てほしいなと思います。で、今日はそのチームがゴールキーパーなんか養成講座みたいなのをやっていて、その解説動画ですね。じゃあ続きを見てみましょう。
Goalkeeping has been a position I feel like I've neglected in my tutorial videos, mostly because my expertise is pretty limited there. As I said, Dim did a phenomenal job coaching during this session. I'm really glad he let me record it. However, there is a lot of information in here. I've been trying to figure out the best way to edit this for the last week, and to be honest, I just couldn't find a better way without taking 2 or 3 weeks to build up the footage necessary.
ところどころ
So
止め
I
なが
know you
ら
guys have been patient with me
の
between videos.
私
I'd
の
rather
り
not
の
wait that long between them.
何ですか
The good
コ
news
メン
is
ト
there
を
is
添え
another
なが
project
ら
I'm working on, and
見て
you
いき
should
まし
see
ょうか
that
ね。
being
動画は
posted
全体で
sometime this week.
30
Anyway,
数
rather than
分ある
sitting
の
on
で、
this any longer, I figured
こ
it
の
would be best
配
just to
信
get
自
that
体は
information
ま
out
あ
to our
1時
aspiring
間以内に
goalkeepers. At some point,
収
I
めよ
plan
う
on
かな
breaking
と
this down into a 5 to 10 minute video.
思ってます。
Trust me, I know how long your attention spans are, so that goalkeeper video will be similar to the way I've recorded my shooting and boosting tutorials. I don't want to go too long here, so I have one last shout out to Dim. If you guys are interested in hearing an EchoArena ESPN style podcast, Dim has you covered. He runs a Twitch channel called The Echo, where he and a group of guests talk over some of the anticipated matches for that week, and it's really interesting to hear some of their predictions. If you want to check it out, there's a link to it in the description. Go give him a follow, and let's get started.
Well, so you're skipping over the most important part of being your team's goalkeeper.
Very possible.
And this is a team thing. All right, this is when you're on a goalkeeper as a team, and Venom, it'll bonk you in the head as I say it. You should never be quiet on your team's back line, ever. If you are not talking, chances are you're wrong. Okay, you should be talking basically the whole game. You're the narrator, right? You can see the whole field of action from right here. You know, so like you got a guy over here defending this guy, you know, but he doesn't want to leave the bubble yet, but he's defending his spot. He's not seeing all this other stuff going on. So he has no idea that there's a guy sneaking in under him that's open for a pass right now. So maybe he needs to swap out for that guy, but he doesn't know he's there. Who's going to tell him? You are. You're in goal. You can see the guy sneaking in. You can tell him who's got his back turned to you. Hey, there's a guy down low left. You know, and now it's up to him. I don't know, you know, some teams will have it like the goalie will actually tell him, guard low left, or he'll just announce it. Guy low left, person low left, player low left, and the team will figure out who's got that assignment. But you should be always running your mouth when you're in the goal or anywhere on the back line. As your team's moving up, when you come out, you should be telling them where their open pass options are. You should be telling them where the coverage is. You should be telling them if there's a goalie, if you can see the goal. Sometimes you're not going to see everything. There's a lot of stuff in the way, and that's all right. But you should be telling your team about everything you see. And if they're getting annoyed with you, either one, maybe you're being too long-winded about it, which is good. Brevity is good. Brevity.
まあ、ここまででずっと声出してるようにっていうことですよね。ゴーリーだったらずっと何かしら解説をしてろという。まあ、それはおっしゃる通りですよね。で、攻められてる時とチームが攻めてる時の2パターンがありますけど、まあ、攻められてる時は敵の位置、キラーにいるとか、シールドにいるとか、玉座にいるとか、ショルダーにいるとか、そういうのを味方に伝えるっていうのは大事ですよね。味方は何でしょうか。全部ね、今、解説にあったように、動画の中にあったように全部見えてるわけじゃないので、ゴールキーパーが伝えてあげるっていうのは大事ですよね。で、前の動画でも言ったように、ゴールキーパーも見落としがちなのがバックボードにいる敵なので、ゴールに着いた時は、まあ、いるかどうか、ちらっと見て確認するっていうのは大事だなと思います。で、攻められてる時は自分がゴールにいるので、まあ、基本的に全体見渡せるんですけど、自分のチームが攻めてる時は、味方に指示出すためには自分も前に上がらないといけないわけですよね。で、状況によっては前に上がりすぎると危険な場合は、自分の自チームのフィールドにとどまってたりすると思うんですけど、まあ、その時はしょうがないですよね。なので攻めてる時の声掛けはできたらするけどっていう感じです。私は今のところ。 で、まあ、するときは、味方も自分パスもらうためにシールドにいるよとか、ブーツにいるよとか、声かけると思うんですよね。今ディスク持ってる人に。でも、自分がマーク疲れてることに気づかなかったりするので、ブーツマーク疲れてるとか、空いてるとか、そういうことを伝えるのが大事だっていうことですよね。で、伝えるときは簡潔であれっていう話が動画の続きで言われてますね。
Keep everything concise and short. You know, you want to be like open pass, right ghost, right? You don't want to be like, there's a guy open to the right there on that block. He's open for a pass. You know, you don't want to be doing that. You just want to be concise and to the point. You know, open right, open left, guy on seal. Also, calling for help. Let's say there's a guy who's literally on the backboard here, and no one's coming to cover him. He's call for help. I need help. I need help. You know, get someone to come help you at goal, help protect you, help keep that guy off of you, give someone to attack him. You know what I mean? Because there's teams like Kangaroos, their whole offensive strategy is based around shutting down that goalie, is getting a guy on him to stun him out. So sometimes you need help. And I actually got the help thing from Joker. I won't say how. That's what they do. Kong, when he's in goal and he's being assaulted, he literally in calm says, I need help in goal. I need help. I need help. And someone on the team will come help. The other thing, when your teammate's helping a goal, they need to stay out of the actual goal plane, though, because it's easier to grab your teammate than it is the disc. That's the big thing. Always, always, always be.
今のあるあるというか、たまにやりますよね。ディスクじゃなくて、ディスクを取ろうと思っても、コントローラーはトリガー握ってもう待ち構えていて、そこにチームメイトが、ディフェンスをしてあげようと思って、スッと現れて、そのまま、ゴーリーを誘拐していくっていうことが、時々ありますよね。これはなんか、誘拐した側も誘拐された側も、で、大体そういうケースでね、オープンになっちゃって、点を決められると、お互いなんか虚しい気持ちになっちゃうので。ゴールの前には、意思疎通が大事ですけど、ゴーリーがいて、その目の前には行かない方がいいですよね。結構、なんですか、敵のことをずっと目で追いたいんですけど、味方がいたりすると、そっちに目が取られちゃったりして、敵のことをずっと集中できなかったりする時があるので、その辺はゴーリーの好き嫌いというか、好みの問題だったりすると思うんですけど、結構私としては、1on1の状況になれるんだったらなりたいなというか、もう敵味方含めてごちゃごちゃいると、ちょっとディスクの動きを見失いがちだなっていう、そんな気がしていて、それはチーム内でよくね、意思疎通を図るというか、もともとね、話し合っておくのが大事だなって思いますね。で、あと、声掛け、攻められてるときは、だいたい場所の名前言ったらそこに敵がいるよっていう意味になると思うんですけど、攻めてるときの声掛けですよね。マーク疲れてないからフリーだっていうことを、例えば、味方がショルダーにいて、マークも疲れていないと。そこにパス出したらいいんじゃないかって思うときに、ショルダーっていうだけだと、それでも伝わると思うんですけど、ショルダーフリーとか、ショルダー空いてるとか、いろんな言い方があると思うんですよね。で、なんでしょうね。カラーコールみたいにみんなが共通認識を持っている声かけっていうのがあんまりないと思うので、それは事前にチーム内で話し合っておいて、マークが疲れてないときは、フリーって言うよとか、そういう認識を 合わせておくっていうのは大事だなって思いますね。ショルダーフリーって言ったら、味方がショルダーにいてマークも疲れていない。そこに出すのが一番いいよっていう意味になるっていう感じですね。じゃあ、続き見ましょう。
You're basically the default field general. You're the quarterback. I mean, not always. Some teams will go with a different quarterback. But 9 times out of 10, if you're the goalie, you're probably also playing quarterback. And you're literally the team's quarterback. Now, you don't have to be the one calling the plays, but once you're out in the field, you're the general. You're the guy who's able to direct things. Because even if you're team captain, who might be the guy calling all the plays, if he's over there in right tube, there's a lot of stuff he can't see. There's a lot of stuff he's got to pay attention to. He's probably covered here. You know, half the time you've got no one on you. You can just look around and see see everything, right? So you become that default voice, the narrator. I call it narrator. It's like that's the position. You're the narrator, and you're narrating what's going on. That's the most important thing about playing goal.
今の、
Default voice, the narrator. I call it.
この初期設定っていう、最初どういうことだって思ったんですけど、デフォルトっていうことですよね。なので、まあ、チームの声になるのは基本的にゴールがやる仕事だよっていうことですよ。という一点補足でした。
Narrator. It's like that's the position. You're the narrator, and you're narrating what's going on. That's the most important thing about playing goal. That communication. That if you're not communicating on your team, that communication alone, you will see a massive, massive difference the moment you start communicating. So stretches,
what about
yeah.
warm-up? What about warm-up? Does goalie have a special warm-up?
Yeah, a special warm-up? No. Well, it depends. I like to, when I first get in, so one thing, I call it, and Venom will know what I'm talking about, I call it calisthenics, where it's not calisthenics, but it's like an initial warm-up where you take your personal disc and you just float around and bounce it off of stuff, right? And the point of this is just to get your brain calibrated to the VR world, because you've spent all day in the real world, and now you're coming here to fake world. You need to calibrate your brain to fake world. But part of that, when I'm playing in a game, is when I first get in, one of the things I'll do is, you saw me doing it when I first got here, I'll start doing stuff like this. And the point isn't to dance and feel cool or whatever. The point is, let's say you're under assault, right? Someone's coming in to stun you out, but they're looking to send a shot in. Maybe you could shield, but that, you know, maybe that's only going to hold on for so long, right? At some point, you're going to have to juke. This simple rotation, going around like this, just going around the side, spinning around, is just keeping it random. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. That in and of itself can help you get away from that attacker. And then you can try to time that, like you see a shot coming. I'm going to do a little juke here. Shot's on its way. I come out to save the shot. And, you know, 1 out of 10 times you make the save. 1 out of 5 if you're good. If you're dash, 1 out of 4. So that's why I'm doing that. And it's not just to train myself to do it. It's to make it so when I'm doing it in a game under a high pressure situation, I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it. It's just reflex.
Recharge your shield as well, right?
Yeah.
So if your shield runs out, you can recharge it and then put it back up.
Because that's the big thing is that shield. When you're looking at, when they're trying to drive in on you, let's say the team's trying to set up a coordinated 3, they're going to send someone in on you, and you're going to have to throw that shield up and just wait. And you just got to wait. But then that shield's going to pop out, so you got to start moving around, get away from that guy. To get good at making saves off that.
今の面白いよね。シールドの他にスタン対策として動き回るっていうことですよね。まあ、枠を掴んでぐるぐる動くっていうのは私はやってないんですけど、たまにやってるのを見かけるのは、私が見て学んだのは、天ぷらパスタ選手がゴールの前にあるホロキューブを掴んで、とにかくぐるぐる動き回ると。あれ、ね、意外とスタンされないんですよね。あれはたまにやったりします。 シールドを出すまでじゃないけれども、スタンされずに置きたいっていう瞬間があるわけですよ。そういう時に動き回るっていうのはいいですよ。そのホロキューブ掴んでぐるぐる回るのも、スタンされる時はされちゃうので、さっき今の動画にあったみたいにバックを掴んで動くとか、そういうのも覚えたらね、いいんでしょうね。ちょっと今度やってみようかなと思いました。
That backboard, shooting off the backboard. Knowing how the bounces go, knowing what the disc looks like on the way in, and knowing what it's going to look like after the bounce. You're going to see over time, and it's happening more and more. You're going to see more no-look backboard saves from goalies over the coming months and years. And it's because that's how easy it is to read the backboard. If you know where the shot's coming from, you know exactly where the shot's headed, right? So you don't need to look. You know exactly where you need to put your hand to make that save. iBlood Sports got one just the other day. That was pretty dope. I've gotten more than one. I'm not saying I'm so good. I got no look. I'm saying it's that easy. It's just look right now. It's impressive because not everyone's doing it, but everyone's going to be doing it once they realize how easy it is to read that backboard. Because it's the most predictable. This is the most predictable part of the arena. Is that right there? More predictable than a head-on shot. Because a head-on shot, you don't know where it's going to be going till he releases it, and then you have 1/10 of a second to react. Backboard, it's already released. You know where it's hitting. You know where it's going. So that's why backboard shooters are gonna be more and more commonly the worst shooters because it's too easy. It's too easy to read it. In the arena. Good.
今の話衝撃的ですよね。私が最初に何ヶ月か前にこの動画見た時も衝撃でしたけど、どうなんですかね。海外の試合、ちょっと最近見てないからあれですけど、海外のゴーリーは、バウンドシュートは見ないで取るのが常識になってるんですかね。正直日本でこれをやってる人は見たことないです。私、たまに挑戦しますけど、成功した試しがないですね。バウンドの読みが甘いんだと思いますけど、このね、チームは、バウンド取るのは簡単、ね、覚えちゃえば簡単だと。バウンスシュートを打つのは取られるから、そもそもバウンドシュート打つ選手も減ってくんじゃないかみたいな、そんな話してましたけど、どうなんですかね、実際、海外の現状。ねえ、見ないで取るって、100% の確率でできるぐらいまで自信がないと、だって見ないで取ろうと思って点入りましたって言ったら、先般になるわけじゃないですか。そこまで自信を持って簡単だって言えるほど簡単な技術なんですかね。私はちょっと全然できないです。怖いですね。でも、練習すればできるっていうことなのかな。でも、ね、練習してみるのは面白いと思います。で、ゴーリーの練習って、私の個人的な意見ですけど、結構実践をたくさんこなした方がいいなと思っていて、ゴーリーのための練習の時間を設けて、例えば誰かにシュートをずっと投げてもらって、それを取るっていう練習は、あんまり私しないんですよね。なんでかというと、試合の中でワンオンワンになるシーンってあんまりないじゃないですか。なので、練習するとしたら、味方にパスを回してもらって、それでシュートを打つのを取るっていう練習がいいと思いますね。そういうのもあるっていうのがあるんですけど、この見ないでバウンスシュートを取るっていうことに関しては、多分そういう練習をしないと上達しないですよね。実践で練習してたら ちゃくちゃ怒られると思うんですよね。なので、きっとバウンスの練習、バウンスシュートを打ちたいっていう人も結構、そういう練習したいっていう人も結構いると思うので、バウンスシュートの練習プラス見ないでそれを取る練習っていう組み合わせで、ね、人を集めて練習したら面白いのかなと思います。実際できたらめちゃくちゃかっこいいですよね。見ないでバウンスバシッて取ったらもうなんか圧倒的にこいつができるみたいな、こんな、ね、プレッシャーかけることができますよね。まあ、直近で覚えたいテクニックではないですけど、ゆくゆくは身につけたいなとは思います。で、見ないで取るの、かっこいいだけじゃなくて、なんでいいかっていうと、バウンスを取るときは、基本的に後ろを振り返らないと、基本的にというか、見ないで取らないとすれば、振り返って実際に見て取るわけですけど、バウンスシュートを投げた人がそのままゴールに来て、後ろからスタンスされるっていうパターンがありますよね。なので、後ろを振り返ると、ちょっと警戒を緩めてしまうので、そういう時に、前を見てた、前を見てたから防げるかっていうとどうなのかな。合わしながらってことかな。でも後ろを振り返って完全に背中を開けちゃうよりは安全ですよね。そういう利点があるんじゃないかなと思います。ちょっとこれをね、できる人がいたら、ちょっと見せてほしいですね、実際に。日本にいるのかな？どうなんでしょう。海外にもいるのかな？そんなにたくさん。知ってる人いたら教えてください。じゃあ続き。
Quick question. Which one bothers you the most? Speed or position on the disc when somebody throws?
Speed.
Placement of the shot, yeah.
Speed. Hands
Speed.
down. Speed. Because like
What do you call speed? 17 or
19.
18, 19? 19, okay.
19. 19 is when it becomes like ping is going to beat you more than the shot itself.
Oh, wow.
Well, at least for NA. I know Europe, you have better ping than we do, but generally 19. I know when someone has thrown a 19 at me because it looks different.
Oh,
And I think that's why it's the speed limit, because I think that is the limit of what they can do with their programming before ping just takes over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that's the limit for a specific reason. 19 for a reason. And it looks different. So speed definitely. Placement. I mean, placement will beat you. You know what I mean?
スピードの話ですけど、なんか、かすかにこの話は記憶にあって、ピンが影響して取れないスピードがあるんだったなっていうのを覚えてたんですけど、19ですか。19なかなか出す選手少ないですよね。そもそも日本だったら。僕は、試合中に実際に19で点取られたっていう記憶があんまりないですけど、17とか18とかでも、スピード、ポジションとスピードどっちが嫌かって言ったら、私もスピード嫌っていうかもしれないですね。スピードがあると、なんですか、タイミングがやっぱりずれる気がするんですよね。私の中で、構える、用意ができる前にスコーンって入ってきちゃう感じがあるので、アンカーシュート出るのは大きい武器です。少々、そんなポケットギリギリじゃなくても、速い球だったら、なぜか取れないみたいな時があるので、やっぱりタイミングがずれてるんだなと。私の頭の中のディスクの位置と、ちょっとずれが生じるんじゃないかなと思うので、スピードを出せるのはやっぱり強いですよね。私も最近アンカーの練習自分でしてますけど、でもなかなか速度出すのは難しいので、やっぱりスピードを出せるっていうのは大きい武器だなと思います。で、ポジションの話をしてますね。続き見てみましょう。
If you're set up for if they're coming in, you know, and I'm leaving that right one open. When I guard here, I'm leaving that one open in particular, although not as open as it looks because I can you know reach for it. But this
Do you
is actually
do that
more
on
open than
purpose?
that.
Would you do that on purpose? Is leave something open so you would actually go for it and you know it's going there?
I didn't originally. I do now.
Okay.
I started doing this organically just because it put me closer to the shooter. But then I realized it does bait that far side corner. It leaves it wide open. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That becomes really pretty.
Yep.
You know, so you open that up. You can use it. It's not so much. I wouldn't call it a bait. It's more of one of the ways you have to look at playing goal is because it's not like hockey. You're not going to make 90% of you know, you're not going to have a 90% save rate. You know, if you look at like pub save rates, 20% is considered really good, right? That's considered really good. So that's how hard it is to play goalie. So what you want to be looking at is not your save rate, not saving every shot. It's playing the odds. It's like playing poker. You have some control, but only a little bit. And that's what you have to play. You have to play the odds. So when I'm set up like this, it's not that I'm intentionally baiting it. It's that I know there's a higher chance they're going to send it there. And so I'm prepping for that. But I also need to be prepared for the high corner. This low slot here is one of the most popular locations just because it's hard to reach. It's hard to get down. It's easier to go up. You know, it's easier to throw yourself than it is to bend. For most people anyways. I know for me it is. And the other thing, it's about, because since I'm there, so some people will
確率の話をしてましたね。頭使うポジションですね、ゴーリーって。わざと開けて誘導するっていうのは、なんか昔やったような気がします。最近ちょっとやってなかったので、またやってもいいのかなって思いましたね。で、まあ、確率、やっぱり大事ですよね。確率っていう表現あんまり私はしないです。どこに来るか、まあ、予想して対策を考えるということですけど、今みたいにあえて誘導することによってその確率を高めることができるっていうわけですよね。ポケットをちょっと開けてみて。面白いですね。ちょっとね、そこまで頭脳プレイできてないので参考になります。見てみましょう。
say that this is a style of goalie and this is a style of goalie. That's not true. These are just two different anchors. These are just two different locations. Some people prefer one over the other. I prefer to play here. Some people prefer to play here. But people who play here will often end up here for certain situations, and people who play here will often end up there for certain situations. Just like people who dive are just as likely to make some saves as people who prefer to make saves are just as likely at some point they're going to dive, right? Yeah, there's different styles, but they're all in your toolbox. So every single one of these anchors are vitally important. Vitally important. Now, it's not a matter of, like, in hockey, they would say, you know, come out, like, let's say Venom's looking to take a shot. They would tell you to come out to here in hockey to cut down the angle. Because by coming out to here, you're making yourself bigger to them, which ultimately covers more of the goal. We don't have that benefit. We have a head and two hands. That's it. Now, I do tend to be, I'm a dive goalie. I challenge shooters. That's my go-to move. He's coming in. The moment he crosses that line, I pop out at him. I'm looking to make a grab and a stunt. All right, and I'll actually explain how that works. But before I get to that, the other thing you can do is you feign an attack. Let's say Venom's about to come in at you, and he expects you to attack him, right? So I come out, boom, I come back. I can try to make that save. Because what'll happen is he's going to try to time that shot so right before I get to him. But if right before I get to him, I turn myself back, it's going to throw him off, but he's already committed to the shot, so he's taking that shot no matter what if he's committed to it. And I'm more likely to make that stop. And a lot of goalies utilize, who was it talking about? Was it Sports? I think it was iBlood Sports. Talking about he does that. There's somebody else who's talking about it. I've watched Kung do it. I've watched him do it. I've watched Dash do it. Actually, it might have been Dash talking about it one day. I think it was Dash. And I've started doing it, although more so unintentionally. But and then about challenging, so let's say Venom's going to come out and challenge. He's going to come in and shoot. When I come out to challenge,
さっきの飛び出すペイントでホロキューブを掴んで、なんか私の首の角度おかしいな。飛び出すペイントでホロキューブ掴んで戻ってセーブする。ねえ。これは、やっぱり多分この動画を見てからかな。こういう方法があるっていうのはずっと頭にあったんですけど、実践で使ったこととか練習をしたことはまだなくて、ちょっとね、まだまだできる、やるべき、練習すべきことがたくさんあるなって気づかされますね。のりこんまコメントありがとうございます。ゴーリー全然できない。こうやって誘導することで守る範囲が少なくなるのはまだ取れる気がする。ね。誘導ね、本当にね、頭使うプレーだよね。さっき、チームが言ってたのは、道具箱っていう表現いいなと思って、本当に、ゴーリーはいろんな想定をどれだけしておけるかっていうので、セーブ率が上がってくるなって思うので、そういうね、いろんな技を駆使してセーブ率をね、上げていきたいですよね。
all right, you have two hands. You want to use both of them. You actually have a head as well. You want to be using that too. All right. Now you don't have to use your head consciously. You just need to make sure your face is in between his face and the goal. Right? You put your face right there because he might throw it at your head. And you might get a stop that way. But the other thing, you want to have one stun and one grab when you're coming out. And you want to set them up just like that. When you're coming out, when I come out, I do this instinctually at this point. I don't do it on purpose. It's just what it's I train myself to do it, and then I just do it now. When I come out, boom, just like that.
Which hand do you prefer to use for what?
Left for grab. I'll explain why.
Okay.
For a specific reason. Most shooters are right-handed. Most, not all, most. So again, we're playing the odds. This is not about making every save. It's about making as many as you can. It's about setting up with the best statistical likelihood of making a save. Right? So I use the left hand because as you're coming in and I've got that stun ready, I'm mirroring your other hand. I'm mirroring the shot hand. I am following it. That's my primary focus. It's his shooting hand. Wherever it goes, I do the same thing with my other hand. I do it like a mirror, like we're looking at a mirror. I follow it. And it works. It works, it works, it works, it works, it works. It works. It is so strong. It is, in my opinion, it is stronger than sitting back and waiting. Especially if you do it, if you time it just right. Because the moment they cross that 2-point line, they're looking to shoot. If they're carrying that disc, unless they have a pass option over here, if they're coming in at you, if it's a one-on-one, they cross that line. That is them signing the contract that says, I'm about to shoot the disc. Right? That's how you time it. The moment they cross that line, the moment they make you that promise, bop, you pop out at them. Right? And that's how you make those the aggressive stops, the dive stop. Now, like everything in EchoArena, there's a trade-off. There's a vulnerability to it. Let's say they do have that pass option. Whether or not you know he's there. Let's say he has that pass option. If he's coming in, he might not be looking to shoot. He might be looking to pass. He might just be wanting to sell you on shoot. And the moment you pop out, you get right here, that goal is wide open for that pass option. That guy over there. Look at where Spider is. There's no way I'm making a save on that shot. No way in hell. And that's the danger of coming out. You have to be aware. You have to always be aware of where everybody is in your bubble. This is your house. You should know everybody who walks in the front door. You should know where they are when you're in the house. Are they in the bathroom? Are they in your bedroom? Are they going through your sock drawer? Because that guy down on the floor right there, he's rifling through your sock drawer. He's going to find all your dirty secrets. You need to know where he is. right? Everybody that walks into your bubble, you need to know where they're at. So that's going to inform you, all right, that he has a pass option, he's coming in. No one's covering that pass option. Should I challenge? No. What you should then be doing, and so this will kind of take us into our next point, is diving.
いいねする前に、ここまでの振り返り。飛び込むときに、片方の手をスタンにして、片方をスティールを用意する。これは結構私も、やっぱりこの動画を見てからかな。これはもう、動画の中でも言ってたけど、本能的にというか、無意識でできるように練習しましたね。で、まあ、これがうまくいく確率は、すごい高いわけじゃないけど、まあ、そこそこ成功するから、これはまあ、ゴーリーじゃなくても、スティールしたいというか、敵と向かい合った時に結構使えたりするので、練習しておくのはいいなって思いますね。あと何の話ですね。ね。面白い解説動画だね。海外っぽいよね。例えとか、ジョークが。はい、次行きましょう。
This is so I kept calling the other one diving. That's challenging. Diving, different skill. So let's say there's two of them set up. They've got a 2-on-1. Maybe it's not a 2-on-1. Maybe it's everybody's in the bubble and it's all chaos. But you know, he's got a guy right there who's looking for that cut pass. Right? That's harder to save. That's 1,000 times harder to save than a head-on pass or head-on shot. A cross pass to a shot is harder to save than a shot every single time, statistically. So again, we're back to playing the odds. Got to remember the numbers. Got to remember the statistic. I don't have real numbers. I just use generalities, but the cross pass shot is harder to save than a shot, which means don't go for the save, right? You shouldn't be, I mean, ultimately you're going to be going for the save, but actually what you should be looking for is to cut off the cross pass. Look for the feed. You know, if you know he has a better shot of scoring than him, they probably know he has a better shot of scoring than him. So then you need to be watching for that cross pass because he might even try to sell you on the shot. He'll take it back like he's about to shoot on you and then pop, send it to his partner, buddy. So basically when you got that kind of situation, don't come at the challenge. You want to watch for that cut pass, and even if you want to, you can even set up for it. You know, let's say you're like me and you play on the rim, and he's got that cross pass option. Boom, I'm gonna set up like this. Not only am I baiting him now to shoot right side, but I'm also in a better position to intercept that cross pass. So that's another important thing about the blocks here. I'll also actually I did it in a game yesterday. Guy was coming in high right. He had a guy coming in to help him, like left post side. So knowing I could still get a good coverage on the goal from his shot, moved up to here. Because I was setting up for the cross pass. I wasn't setting up for the save anymore. I was setting up for the cross pass. So as he comes in, I'm now giving him a juicier looking goal. So he's more likely to shoot it now, which is better than the cross pass shot. And if he doesn't shoot it, I'm right in that lane. I get right there. So that's what you want to be using these for, is positioning. You want to be watching for those cross passes. You want to be able to make those stops. That's going to be the difference. Your save rate is not the difference between a good goalie and a great goalie, although that's part of it. The difference between a good goalie and a great goalie is reading the bubble, reading the passes, reading those send-ins, knowing where everybody is. And there's in that video, I got Kong making one of the best reads I've ever seen. Guy under him, completely uncovered. Guy over there, that guy's moving in. He's looking at the goal, man. He's telling Kong, I'm shooting the disc. He didn't say it, but he was telegraphing it. And Kong, though, didn't buy it for a moment. The moment that disc goes under him, Kong pops down, gets the interception, sends it out, his team gets a goal. It is so great stuff. Kong is actually a really good goalie, and I didn't know it until the last couple weeks. He's a really good.
ウンってどこのチームの選手なんでしょうね。まだ見ていて思ったのが、まあ、ゴリよく使うのはちょうど真ん中にあるホロキューブですけど、 他にもゴールの前っていろいろ浮かんでるわけですよね。それを上手に使いこなせてないなという反省ですね。うん。最近ちょっと意識して真ん中以外のホロキュービも掴んでポジションを考えたりするけど、まだここは全然改善というか、勉強の余地があるな。上のホロキューブとか、ね全然使ったことないけど、今、パスカットをするために使ってましたよね。ハイレベルです。
Goalie. So that's the thing about the blocks. You don't want to be using the blocks as a generally speaking as a means to make saves. It's to make read. It's to get those intercept the cut passes. You know, like if you got a guy coming in here, he's got a cross pass there. Go ahead, move out to this block. Now he's more likely to get a backboard shot in. But that's going to be, you know what I mean? Like you're playing the point. If you're waiting here, he's not going for the backboard shot. He's probably going to go for that cross pass, and that cross pass is going to be harder to save. So you pop out, move to here, move to here.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never.
変なとこ押しちゃっ
The aggressive stops, the dive stops. Watch for that cut pass, and even Kong was sitting, his teammate to throw it to both, and that guy's about to, Kong was sitting to intercept the cut passes. You know, like if you got a guy coming in here, he's got a cross pass there, go ahead, move out to this block. Now he's more likely to get a backboard shot in, but that's going to be, you know what I mean? Like you're playing the point. If you're waiting here, he's not going for the backboard shot. He's probably going to go for that cross pass, and that cross pass is going to be harder to save. So you pop out, move to here, move to here, wait for that shot. Basically tell him either take the shot or send the pass. Right, so that's a good example of what you're.
確率を、ね、上げるためには、やっぱり敵の位置を把握してないといけないですよね。で、カットインとかが決まる半分ぐらいの理由は、そもそもカットイン来ると思ってないということだと思うので、やっぱりそういうのを把握するのって大事ですよね。
You're talking about. There's a play, so Kong was sitting here. Or there. I think it was here, actually. So Kong's here. No, he's over here. Right. That's a great view. Kong is right here. He's got a teammate in the tube. Here, he's got a teammate deep, like he's at that pyramid on the wall. And he's got a teammate on the bow tie. So Kong knows there's a defender in that tube between him and his teammate on the wall. So he knows that guy can't send it back, and that guy's about to get assaulted. So Kong on the back line tells his teammate, bow tie, bow tie. He's telling his teammate that his other teammate is open at bow tie. So this isn't so much what you're talking about, Venom, with like a strategic adjustment. This is just in the moment, Kong noticed, Kong knew he needed to get the disc back on the back line for the reset. He also knew he couldn't get it from the teammate that currently had it. But what he also saw was that his teammate was open there and they had a lane. So Kong told that guy to pass it to that guy, and all he did was say, bow tie, or bow tie's open, bow tie's open. That's all he said. And that told his teammate to throw it to bow tie. And the moment that pass went off to bow tie, he started calling back pass, reset. Right? Kong saw in the moment he could get the disc from that guy to himself through that lane, and that's what they did, and they got the reset there. I don't know if they got the goal off it. They probably did. It's Joker. But that's the kind of stuff that I never did. And isn't at the level you're talking about, but still, if you're like me and you can't analyze during a game, that stuff you can do. Look for lanes. It's all about lanes. So yeah, as far as
on defensive and goalie and the correlation between the two, when
情を探すっていう話、私が何もコメントできないほどハイレベルな気が。まだまだですね。
do you go out? How far do you go out? And do you go out?
Yes. Yes. Have to. Perma goalie is the worst meta to ever enter the meta. Perma goalie is not viable, not long term. You might be able to use perma goalie in the lower tiers, but once you're moving up, man, you cannot have a perma goalie. So this is going to be something. This is more of a general, and this is something I've been preaching a lot lately, especially to Toxin. Is basically breaking down the arena into defensive zones, right? And there's 3. There are only, and Venom might disagree, although I don't think he will. There are only 3 defensive zones, and your team only has 2. Bubble and mid. That's it. All right, remember that. Bubble, mid, bubble. Those are your only defensive zones. All this stuff out here, I call it the field. This is not a defensive zone. You do not defend this area. You defend the team from getting through mid, or you defend them at your bubble. If they get through mid, you give them the field, you get back to bubble, right? So that's probably one of the easiest starting points on when to come out and when to go back. Is if they're not through mid yet, move up. Move up. Help defend mid. You know, I'm not saying move up all the way. I'm not saying pinch up. You know, I'm not saying go play forward. But maybe move up to bow tie. You know, maybe move up the station. Help defend mid. The moment they get through mid, or the moment they're getting a lane at mid for a shot, let's say, you know, they just set the pass here. This guy just picked it up. He's got an open lane at the goal. Your priority should be 1, getting back to goal, but 2, getting into that lane. Get into that lane so he doesn't have an easy shot at the goal. That's how you get back. That's how you move back without keeping the goal vulnerable while also not staying in goal. Is be mindful of your line. Be mindful of the lane, the lane. Which is basically the line.
You basically keep the comm open when you're in defense and when you're in offense. Same thing. You're the
ちょっと話が変わりそうだから。今の話は、今となっては、なんとなくわかるけど、多分、なるほどね。言語化するとそういう感じになる。工業ゾーンは3つだと。真ん中を越えてきたらもうバブル内まで戻れっていうことだよね。うん。なるほどね。なんか私のなんだろう。どれだけ前に出ていいかっていう警戒してる距離感と似たような気がしますね。真ん中、敵が真ん中を実際に越えなくても越えられる軌道を見つけたときはもうゴールに戻ろうっていう、そんな感じですよ。どれだけ前に出ればいいかとか、敵がどこまで来たら戻ればいいかっていうのは、結構やりながら覚えてった気がしますね。難しいんですよね、この辺は。でも、言葉でというか、わかりやすく説明するとそういう風になるんですね。なるほどな。よく考えて、研究してますね。さすが。
You're the one talking to your team when you guys are in defense, and you're the one talking to your team when they're in offense if you're positioned in mid.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when you're on offense and you're pushing up, you're probably playing back here, right? You're probably staying on that back line. You still have the eyes on the field.
Yeah.
And the other thing about like what you're calling out, you also want to be conscious of. And I stole this phrase from Essend, from when we were on Nova together. Numbers. You need to be aware of the numbers situation all the time. And what that means is, if you're on the back line here, that means your team only has 3 guys attacking the goal. Well, if you only got 3 guys attacking the goal and they got 4 guys in the bubble, your team's at a disadvantage. And so in your mind, you need to be saying to yourself, we're looking at a 3-on-4 or a 3-on-3.5 because the goalie's kind of counted as like half a person when they're in goal. We're looking at like a 3-on-3.5. That doesn't work out for us. So what do? Well, you can read, send it back to me. And the whole point, there's two purposes to the reset. One, to reset your attack, to reset the play. But two, when you're on that back line, let's say I'm on blue team and this is the back line, and you guys are all, around that bubble defending it, and I get the disc here, I'll stop. You know, VENOM, how many times I would literally I'd take that pass and I would sit. And I would wait until someone started moving at me. And then I'd move up a little bit to encourage them to attack more, and then send that pass. You change the number situation. The moment if they send someone to you on the back line, you can hold them up on the back line and give your team a 3-on-2.5, or even better. Let's say that defender overcommits. Let's say you stun that guy out and you move ahead of him. You're now in a 4-on-2.5. Exactly. Your team is about to get a major advantage on that attack. And it's those situations, like that's when, if you're ever curious, like when should I push up on the bubble? There's a lot of nuance involved on this. Let's say, you don't want to go in too hard because maybe a turnover happens and you need to play defense. But if they've got a defender behind you, this is one of the situations you can always depend on this. If they have a defender behind you and you're up here playing defense, forget that guy. Move up. Attack the bubble. You have a 4-on-2.5. You have a major advantage there, and if you don't press it, you're giving the other team a gift. Always press the advantage. Always press the advantage. Presuming you're in control of the disc. Yes, but I have one more major thing.
今の話はなんか、ゴーリーの話というよりは、チーム的な戦略の話に結構絡んでる気がしますけど、全体を把握して人数を数えたりできるのも、後ろにいるゴーリーだっていうことですよね。もう、なんか、ここまで来るとかなり高度な話をしてる気がしますね。じゃあ、最後に大切なことを入れてもらいましょう。
And I don't mean backboard shots. I mean when they have a player with the disc on the backside and you've now turned around and you're looking at that guy. That feels like the most vulnerable position you're going to ever be in when you're playing goal. It's not. That is one of the strongest positions you will ever be in goal. You want to know why? It's all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers, baby. Right? It's all about the numbers. The vast majority of goals in EchoArena come from right here. Right in front. The further away you get from front, the fewer goals you see on the goal. That's redundant, but you get what I'm saying. All right, now keep that in mind and turn it around. That spot does not exist behind the goal. Right? Every single shot from behind the goal is a lower percentage scoring shot than one that comes from right in front. So when you're turned back behind the goal, you're looking to make a save here, you're in a better position than when you're making a save from the front side. This is better for you. It feels wrong. It feels like you're more vulnerable. You're not. You are stronger here than you are here. Right? That's, again, not a rule, guideline, generally speaking. The thing to remember is every time they take a shot, they're not looking at this. They are not looking at this. They're looking at kind of a wavy nacho, a thin nacho. Right? They don't have the whole goal. They only have a portion of the goal. They have a smaller version of the goal, which means you have an easier job of making it's easier for you to make a save. You don't have nearly as much space to cover. It's easier to cover on the back. That's just something to keep in mind. I have started, the moment I changed my thinking about that, just my thinking, because every time I turned around, I went, oh man, I never make a save from here, and I never did. Until I went, you know what, that doesn't make sense. I should be able to make more saves back here than up here. Suddenly, I was catching about 50% of them. Probably not 50%, feels like 50%. Suddenly, I'm saving a lot more, because it's about the head game sometimes. Sometimes you just got to tell yourself, You got to remind yourself of what the actual situation is. And when you're blocking from behind, you have an advantage, more of an advantage than when you're trying to make a save from the front. So that's the last point, I think.
Okay. I have one small little question for you. How do you approach players that come in for like dunks? You know, when they're coming in here and they're all up on the goal. Is there
They should have never
anything you
gotten
do?
that close.
Yeah, that's all.
They
you
should have
do.
never gotten that close. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the
話し
things.
てたな。
If they've gotten themselves there, they deserve the goal. They shouldn't get that close.
Yep.
Because if it's like if they do it on a one-on-one, I should have challenged. I should have challenged. You know, like if they walk it in, that means that they froze me in goal, and then we're able to just get the grab there. So yeah, no. And if it's like an even situation, like 4v4 or whatever, probably there's not a whole lot you can do. That's basically your defender. Either one, you fail to intercept the pass to that guy who's hanging on the goal, or two, your defender failed you by letting that guy get to the goal. In my personal opinion.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So that's for any goalkeepers in here. Not all goals are your fault. Hardly any of them are actually. Most of them are because of breakdowns in your defense. So you're just there to hopefully stop something. In case you can. So.
Hell, even if you're doing the right things, statistically speaking, offense has the advantage. They're going to score more often than they don't, as long as they're making all the right choices.
Perfect. Okay.
ということで、動画を見てまいりましたが、最後のダンクの話についてはあれですよね。枠にくっついている味方にパスを出してそこから決められるのはまあしゃあないねっていう話であって、攻められてきて枠掴まれてダンクっていうのは先に飛び出したりしてやりようがあるかなっていうふうに思いますね。ダンク止めるの難しいですね。ただ私がちょっと思うのは、ダンクは最終的にというかディスクの位置は腕の先端にあるわけで、腕の軌道を読んでいればそこに手を持ってくれば取れるんじゃないかなとは思うんですよね。なのでその相手の選手の腕の長さというかもう大体見ながらそれを予想してそこに手を持ってくれば取れるんじゃないかなというふうには思ってますけど、なかなか難しいですね。下からのダンクはダンクの中で一番止めやすいと思うんですよね。下のフレームを掴んでガンっていうのは打つ方もそこまで余裕持ってダンクするわけじゃないと思うので、ただ上とか横からのダンクはちょっとちゃんと止める術を考えることができてないので、その辺をもうちょっと研究したいなというふうに思います。1時間以上なっちゃいましたね。動画が33分ぐらいだったので、喋りながらだったので、すいません、長くなりました。実際振り返って見てみたら、今も全然できてないことだらけでしたし、結構濃い内容だったので、自分でもう一回見て褒めながら振り返ってみることをお勧めいたします。で、ゴーリーに限らずですけど、この動画見てすごい参考になることたくさんありましたけど、それが全てじゃないというか、実際この動画が作られたのはそこそこ前ですし、今のプレイスタイルとかとはちょっとここまではカバーできてないかもしれないですし、どんどんとね 5VR って発展途上にあるゲームなので、それに合わせていろいろ傾向対策を考えていくっていうのは大事だなと思います。ということで長くなってしまいましたが、 ご視聴くださりありがとうございました。先ほども言いましたけど、概要欄に動画のリンク貼ってますので、後から自分でぜひ見てみてください。でですね、そうだ。言おうと思ってて忘れていたことがありまして、今、EVJL シーズン0が絶賛進行中ですよね。で、勝敗予想配信みたいなのをしてたんですけど、リアルの仕事がですね、忙しくて、なかなか配信をする余裕がなく、ウィーク2までしか、ウィーク1と2やって、それ以降やってないんですけど、最初は毎週できたらいいなぐらいのつもりだったんですけど、ちょっとそれは現実的ではなかったので、ね、やるときはやると、こういう感じでいきたいと思います。ということで、他、なんか言われ忘れていたことないかな。大丈夫かな。ということで、次回何やるかは全然決まってないので、なんか思いついたらやりたいと思います。だったらまた次回も見てみてください。ということで、最後までありがとうございました。またお会いしましょう。バイバイ。